The first millionaire I ever met ate the same $3 meal every single day. The second one still drove a 15-year-old Honda with a dent in the door. And the third woke up at 4 a.m. Not to work, but to do something most people would call a complete waste of time. I spent 2 years studying what actually separates millionaires from everyone else. And what I found? It wasn't motivation. It wasn't some secret investment strategy. It was 7 habits so boring, so unglamorous, that nobody wants to talk about them. But here's the thing, they work. Stick with me for the next 15 minutes because I'm breaking down all 7, and I guarantee at least one of these is going to make you uncomfortable. Let's go. Before we dive in, let me be clear. I'm not talking about trust fund babies or lottery winners. I'm talking about people who built wealth from scratch. People who started with nothing and figured out the game. And the crazy part? Most of what they do looks boring from the outside. There's no highlight reel, no viral moment. Just these quiet, disciplined habits that compound over years. So if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, this isn't it. But if you want the real blueprint, keep watching. Habit number 1. They track every dollar, even after they're rich. Alright, habit number 1. They track every single dollar. I know what you're thinking. Come on, millionaires don't care about small amounts of money. Wrong. Dead wrong. Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus is worth about $8 million. Made his money in real estate. And you know what he does every Sunday morning? He sits down with his coffee and reviews every transaction from the week. Every single one. One time we went to dinner. Bill came to $147. Marcus looked at it, pulled out his phone, and started adding up the items. Turns out they charged us for an extra appetizer we never ordered. $4. I laughed and said, "Dude, you're a millionaire. It's $4. You know what he said? "That's exactly why I'm a millionaire." Pause for effect. Here's what he meant. It's not about the $4. It's about awareness. The moment you stop paying attention to small leaks, you stop paying attention to big ones. He told me, "I've seen people make $500,000 a year and still go broke. You know why? Because they think they're above the details. They think tracking money is for poor people. But wealth isn't about what you make. It's about what you keep." And that hit me. Think about it. If you're leaking $50 here, $100 there, that's $5,000 to $10,000 a year just gone. Over 10 years. That's 6 figures. Invested? That could have been $250,000. So here's the lesson. Tracking your money isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. And millionaires? They're intentional with every dollar. Not because they have to be, because that's how they got there in the first place. They practice selective ignorance. Habit number 2 is going to sound counterintuitive, but stay with me. They practice selective ignorance. What does that mean? It means they deliberately ignore most of what everyone else is panicking about. Let me give you an example. I know a guy named David, runs a software company worth about $12 million. And David has this rule. No phone until 10 a.m. No emails, no texts, no news, nothing. I asked him, "Bro, what if something urgent happens?" He laughed and said, "In 5 years of doing this, you know how many actual emergencies happened before 10 a.m.? 0. Most of what we think is urgent. It's not. It's just noise." David told me poor people react to everything. Rich people protect their attention like it's their most valuable asset, because it is. And here's the thing. He's right. Think about your day. How much of it is spent reacting, checking notifications, scrolling, responding to stuff that doesn't actually move the needle? Millionaires cut that out. They ignore 90% of what the world throws at them so they can focus on the 10% that actually matters. Selective ignorance isn't about being uninformed. It's about being ruthlessly focused. They don't watch the news every morning. They don't follow every trend. They don't engage in every debate. They ask one question: does this help me reach my goal? If the answer is no, ignored. And that's how they get ahead, while everyone else is distracted. Here's your takeaway. Start saying no to information that doesn't serve you. Unfollow accounts that drain your energy. Stop checking your phone every 10 minutes. Protect your attention, because whoever controls your attention controls your life. They rehearse failure. Habit number 3 sounds dark, but it's genius. They rehearse failure. Most people avoid thinking about what could go wrong. Millionaires? They obsess over it. Let me tell you about Linda. Linda owns a chain of fitness studios, worth about $6 million. And every Sunday evening, she does something most people would find depressing. She writes down everything that could go wrong that week. Staff quits, equipment breaks, a client complains, a competitor opens nearby, cash flow dries up. She lists it all. I asked her, "Doesn't that stress you out?" She said, "The opposite. It keeps me calm." Here's why. When you rehearse failure, you're not being pessimistic. You're being prepared. Most people get blindsided because they never think past the best-case scenario. They're optimistic to a fault, and when something goes wrong, they panic. But Linda, she's already thought through the worst, so when it happens, she's ready. She told me, "I don't get surprised anymore. I get prepared." And that's a massive advantage. Think about it. If you've already imagined your business failing, your investment tanking, your plan falling apart, when obstacles show up, you're not frozen. You're moving. This is called negative visualization. The Stoics used it, Navy SEALs use it, and millionaires use it. Here's how you apply this. Every week, spend 10 minutes asking, what could go wrong? Then ask, what's my plan if it does? That's it. You're not manifesting failure. You're building mental resilience. And when everyone else is panicking, you'll be the calmest person in the room because you already saw it coming. They have boring routines. All right, habit number 4. They have incredibly boring routines, no variety, no spontaneity. Same thing every single day. And I know that sounds soul-crushing. But hear me out. I know a millionaire named Greg. Every morning, same routine. 5:30 a.m., wake up. Same breakfast. Oatmeal, black coffee. Same 30-minute walk. Same time he sits down to work. Every single day. Weekends too. I asked him, doesn't that get boring? He said, that's the point. Here's what he meant. Your brain has limited decision-making energy. Every choice you make, what to eat, what to wear, when to start working, drains that energy. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit. Obama ate the same meals. Zuckerberg wears grey t-shirts. Why? Because they're conserving mental energy for decisions that actually matter. Greg told me, I don't want to waste energy deciding what to have for breakfast. I want that energy for solving a $100,000 problem. And that's the difference. Most people think routines are restrictive. Millionaires see them as freedom. Freedom from decision fatigue. Freedom from chaos. Freedom to focus on what actually moves the needle. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. Routines also remove emotion from the equation. You don't feel like working out. You just do it. Same time, every day. You don't wait for inspiration to work on your business. You show up. Same time, every day. Emotion becomes irrelevant. And that's powerful. Here's your move. Pick 3 things you do every day and make them non-negotiable. Same wake-up time. Same workout time. Same work start time. Lock them in. And watch how much mental space you free up for the stuff that actually builds wealth. Say no to almost everything. Habit number 5 is brutal but necessary. They say no to almost everything. I'm talking 95% of opportunities. Gone. Let me tell you about Rachel. Rachel runs a marketing agency worth about $10 million. And last year, she tracked every opportunity that came her way. Guess how many she said yes to? 3. Out of 50? 50 opportunities. 3 yeses. I said, Rachel, you're leaving money on the table. She laughed and said, no, I'm leaving distractions on the table. Here's the truth. Poor people think success is about saying yes to everything, every opportunity, every connection, every shiny object. Rich people know success is about saying no to almost everything so you can go deep on the few things that actually matter. Warren Buffett said it best. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Because here's what happens when you say yes to everything. You spread yourself thin. You're mediocre at 10 things instead of exceptional at 1. And mediocre doesn't build wealth. Rachel told me, I'd rather be the best at 3 things than average at 50. And that focus, that's what separates millionaires from everyone else. Here's your challenge. For the next month, say no to anything that doesn't directly align with your top 3 goals. Yes, you'll feel guilty. Yes, people will be disappointed. But your bank account won't be. They treat time like inventory. Habit number 6 completely changed how I think about my day. They treat time like inventory. Let me explain. I know a guy named Paul, runs an e-commerce business worth about $7 million. Paul calculated his hourly worth. Based on his income and how many hours he works, every hour of his time is worth about $500. So he asked himself, would I pay someone $500 to do this task? If the answer was no, he hired someone else to do it. Grocery shopping? Hired someone for $25 per hour. Mowing the lawn? Hired someone for $30 per hour. Responding to basic emails? Virtual assistant for $20 per hour. The math made it obvious. Why would he spend an hour grocery shopping when he could spend that hour building something worth $500? Most people think, I'll just do it myself. It's free. No, it's not free. It's costing you the opportunity to do something more valuable. Paul told me, every hour you spend on low-value tasks is an hour you're not spending on high-value ones. That's not saving money. That's losing it. And that mindset shift is huge. Here's how you apply this. Calculate your hourly worth. Monthly income divided by hours worked. Now ask, would I pay someone my hourly rate to do this task? If no, delegate it, automate it, or eliminate it. Your time is your most valuable asset. Treat it that way. They study their failures more than their wins. And finally, habit number 7. They study their failures more than their wins. This one's uncomfortable, but it's critical. I know a millionaire named Sam. He keeps a failure journal. Every time something goes wrong, he writes it down. What happened? Why it happened? What he'll do differently? And once a month, he reads through it. I asked him, why relive the failures? He said, because that's where the lessons are. Here's the thing. Wins feel good, but they don't teach you much. You got lucky. The market was good. Timing was right. Failures show you exactly what doesn't work. Sam can tell me why 7 of his businesses failed, but he barely remembers his wins. That's not modesty. That's strategy, because when you study failure, you stop repeating it. Most people do the opposite. They celebrate wins and bury failures. They don't want to think about what went wrong. But millionaires, they dissect it. They get obsessed with the breakdown. And that's how they get better. Here's what you do. Start a failure journal. Every time something doesn't go as planned, write it down. Not to beat yourself up, but to learn. Because the difference between millionaires and everyone else isn't that they don't fail. It's that they learn from it. All right, let's bring this home. 7 habits. Track every dollar. Practice selective ignorance. Rehearse failure. Have boring routines. Say no to almost everything. Treat time like inventory. Study your failures. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You probably won't do any of these. Not because they're hard. They're actually simple. But because they're boring. They don't look good on Instagram. There's no shortcut here. No hack. Just these quiet, unglamorous habits that nobody talks about because they're too busy doing them. So here's my challenge. Pick one. Just one. And commit to it for 30 days. Then come back and tell me what changed. Drop a comment below. Which habit are you starting with? And if this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because real wealth? It's built in the boring moments nobody sees. Let's go.